Yahoo Fantasy Football, we're running down the gauntlet here, talking about all the wide receivers available in the order that Yahoo's put them out there. We're giving our thoughts on how we think they're going to do. We're going to start with number 26 is where we're at right now. That's Pierre
Garçon.
He's from Haiti.
That's awesome. I think that Garçon will have some good work. Obviously, we've talked a little bit more about how Peyton Manning likes to spread it around. So any one of his wide receiver core is, might not be that great.
But also has the potential for a huge game.
Yeah, but Garçon had a great... it was his rookie season last year, wasn't it?
I believe so.
So he had a great rookie season. Showed excellent ability, excellent talent, and I think at this spot in the rankings, he's kind of a steal in a lot of ways, because I think he's going to see a lot of work.
You're pretty high on him, it sounds like. I think he's going to be a very serviceable wide receiver. I think he's going to routinely give you decent numbers at wide receiver. And we all know from past seasons that wide receiver, you sometimes have weeks where those guys are just non-existent. I think Garcon is going to be better at being a part of the offense every week. So I think he's a safe bet.
Last year, I picked up Austin Collie from the not even from waivers, just from the unused players list.
Yeah, as a free agent.
Yeah, as a free agent, and while he not fantastic, but definitely,
he was very
definitely
good.
made an impact on my fantasy team last year. And if I had Garçon, it would have been even bigger.
I think what Pierre's going to do that Collie might struggle with is Pierre is going to find a way to consistently be a part of the stat sheet. Mm-hmm. So in fantasy football, that's huge.
Yeah. Number 27, we got Vincent Jackson.
Well, I believe he's serving a suspension to open up the season as well.
He's serving a suspension, and he's trying to hold out on the Chargers still, as I recall. So
if he's on the field, he's a great option. He's a really good wide receiver, but I would probably stay away from him until later rounds.
Can't be relied on.
Allow him to fall into your lap and take him as somebody that you have as a fourth wide receiver on a really good wide receiver team.
A lot of the mock drafts I've seen so far, Jackson does get picked up eventually, but a lot of the guys above and below him drop before somebody finally picks him.
Jackson's got to tumble into your lap.
So,
don't reach on him at all, and don't take him where he's been ranked, because he's not going to be worth it over the long haul. He's not going to be worth the value that you're giving up to get him where he's been ranked.
I haven't been timing this one, so we'll have to guess. Mike Wallace.
I think Mike Wallace is going to have a good year. I think that Pittsburgh's going to play from behind. They're going to have to throw the ball. Mike Wallace showed a lot of really good qualities last season. Hines Ward is going to draw a lot of the attention on the offensive side. The only problem you might have with Mike Wallace is if he does break out really early, late in the season, he could be somebody that doesn't get the numbers that you need. And he's going to be relied on a lot more than he was last year as kind of the mystery man that caught some of the most important catches in Steelers season last year. He's going to get a lot more attention this year. But I think he's a great back.
With Holmes gone and Ben suspended and the quarterback situation up in the air like it is, I think they're going to need Mike Wallace to step up, and I think he will. Yeah. Derek Mason for Baltimore. He was the guy they didn't think was quite good enough, so they went and got Stallworth and Bolden.
I don't know if I would shy away from Mason because of that, though. He had some pretty decent games. He's not the type of wide receiver that's going to bring you 30 points. But at the same time, I think the Ravens' offense is going to be pretty successful. I would never take him as a number one option. He's a solid number two, maybe a number three if you've already taken a couple of really good wide receivers beforehand.
T.J. Houshmandzadeh for Seattle.
I talked about when it came to quarterbacks, Matt Hasselbeck having a low ceiling because he's in the twilight of his career. I don't think he gets much better than he did last year. That hurts T.J. Houshmandzadeh.
Yes.
But I think Seattle's going to play a lot better. So he's a real up-in-the-air guy. If I had to bet, I wouldn't shy away from him. I don't think he's somebody that you don't want to pick at all when it comes to picking a wide receiver at the second or third slot.
Dez Bryant is the highest rookie wide receiver ranked on here.
I think Dez Bryant's going to have a good year.
I think that's because he's going to go right in. He's going to go right in the lineup.
He's going to definitely want to prove to other teams that he should have been picked a lot higher than he was.
Yes.
So he's got a lot to prove. He's extremely talented, and he's going to be in a winning situation with the Cowboys. So I really think Dez Bryant is
he's
worth
a really
your time.
solid.
He might even be somebody that you might want to reach on. you really try to shy away from reaching in a fantasy draft because it's very risky, but he might be somebody that you'd want to do it on.
We got Robert Meacham here, another part of that sketchy New Orleans wide receiver core that you really can't bet too much on any one of them, which makes them hard to pick in fantasy football.
It's really hard to handicap how they're going to do, too. But
yeah.
Meacham's a decent option, too. He's a great number 2 on your fantasy roster at the wide receiver spot. But at the same time, be prepared for him to just be non-existent a couple of weeks out of the season.
And you just never know when he's going to strip the ball after an interception and run for a touchdown. So,
let's do one more, and then we'll cut it here.
Okay. Well, we got. Oh, I like who we get to talk about now. We can talk about Devin Aromashadu.
Arishmadu.
Aromashadu.
That was Arishmadu.
Aromashadu.
Cool whip. Whip. Cool whip. Whip.
Just think,
Either way you say it,
he's got
year.
that Chicago aroma Shadu.
Oh, okay.
Devin Aromashadu, I would really like to have him on my team this year, and not just because I'm a Bears fan, but because
Good luck getting him with all the Bears fans in the league.
Yeah, well, you never know.
You could wind up seeing a Bears kicker taken in the second round again.
Robbie Gould.
Robbie Gould! Arishmadu's going to have a great year, though. I think Cutler's going to be a lot better.
Cutler's going to be a lot better. He's going to benefit from Mike Mars, and Cutler has already said after working with his wide receivers that Aromashadu is the real thing. He's the guy that won. He's the guy that caught that winning pass in the Vikings game late in the season last year. In that overtime game, he really stepped up late in the season, and I think.
Cutler's going to be looking for people he can trust on a wide receiver core that is not trustworthy.
Yeah.
He's going to be looking for people who catch the passes that matter most, and I think Arishmadu is going to emerge as that guy.
Yeah, I think Arishmadu will probably have more fantasy value than Devin Hester or Earl Bennett. So
yeah. All right, we'll come back with some more wide receivers for you in just a moment.